the keeper of light. In every age, when darkness veils the hearts of men, there remains a gentle yet mighty light reminding humankind that God is still there. Not in thunder or fire, but in a whisper, in an embrace, in outstretched hands of love. Chapter 1. The hand reaches out. On a grassy hill near Galilee, a man in simple robes stood among the crowd. None had met him before, yet all sensed by some sacred intuition that there was something in his eyes. A poor man, a quiet man, but every word he spoke seemed to make even the wind pause and listen. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. His voice was not loud, yet it echoed within each soul. Every sick one, every hopeless one, every outcast, felt as if he was speaking just to them. A barefoot child wandered into the crowd, holding a hardened loaf of bread. Jesus knelt, gently touching the boy's shoulder, and said, "You will never hunger again." As the child bit into the loaf, his eyes widened. It was warm and soft, as if freshly baked. No one understood, no one could explain, but no one doubted. This was no ordinary man. This was the divine, in human form. While the priests eyed him with suspicion, the nameless, the forgotten, they saw hope. A hand reaching out, a promise without oath. And among the hundreds, he turned to an old blind woman, legs trembling, eyes dull. "What do you see?" he asked. She trembled. "Light," she said, and she wept. The miracle in the shadows. Night fell upon the quiet village, where clay homes slumbered beneath a starry sky. A man named Eli, paralyzed since birth, lay on a thin mat outside his home, staring upward. The pain in his body was nothing compared to the ache of being forgotten. At that moment, a soft light appeared like mist. It came neither from sun nor torch. It moved with a figure silent, calm, approaching. Eli's eyes widened in disbelief. A man with eyes like deep oceans was kneeling beside him. "You do not know who I am," the man said, "but I know every dream you gave up on." He placed a hand on Eli's chest. No force, no empty promise. Eli felt warmth spreading from his heart to his fingertips, then down to legs he thought long dead. A hidden river of faith surged through him. And then, he sat up, for the first time in his life. Words failed him, tears flowed. The man smiled gently, patted his shoulder, and turned to disappear into the shadows as if he had never been. But Eli's footsteps now echoed through the night, awakening the village with the sound of a miracle. The villagers rushed out, witnessing Eli walking. An elder fell to his knees, whispering, "Was that the promised one?" But no answer came. Only the silent stars bore witness. Since that night, whenever someone asked Eli how he was healed, he would smile and say, "The darkness taught me light doesn't need to blind to be seen." Chapter 3. The storm and the prayer. The wind began to howl. Gray clouds twisted in the sky like a warning from heaven. On a small boat in the Sea of Galilee, 12 men fought against the waves, rain whipping their faces, water rising with each minute. "We're going to die," one shouted. "Where is he?" Another yelled, eyes darting through the storm. In the stern, Jesus lay asleep, head resting on a cushion, breathing calmly as though the chaos didn't exist. They shook him awake, shouting, "Master, don't you care that we're going to drown?" He rose, peace still in his eyes. No anger, no fear. He looked out at the sea, raised his hand, and said, "Peace, be still." And as if heaven and earth obeyed his voice, the wind ceased, the waves calmed, and a holy stillness cloaked the sea. Silence overtook the boat. One whispered, "Who is this, that even the wind and sea obey him?" Jesus looked at them not with anger, but gentleness. "Why are you so afraid? Where is your faith?" In that moment, they realized they weren't following just a teacher. They were following the one who ruled even the uncontrollable. And that storm, it became the prelude to a faith that could never be shaken again. Chapter 4. The woman and the hem of his robe. Amid the crowd pressing through the dusty street, a woman moved quietly, hiding. For 12 years, she had suffered from an incurable illness. 12 years of loneliness, of being shunned, of whispers behind her back. But she had heard of him. She didn't need to see his face. She didn't need to speak. She just wanted to touch the hem of his robe. The crowd pressed in. She knelt, crawling between legs, hand trembling. In that moment, her fingertips brushed the edge of his robe, and instantly, something changed. A surge of life returned. The pain vanished. Her heart pounded not from sickness, but from knowing she had been healed. Jesus stopped. "Who touched me?" he asked. The disciples looked confused. "Teacher, the crowd is pressing all around." But he said, "Someone touched me with faith." And he turned. The woman trembled, falling at his feet in tears. He knelt, no anger, no rebuke. He simply said, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace." In that noisy crowd, only two truly heard each other. One soul longing, one Savior who had listened before the words were ever spoken. From that day on, one woman's faith echoed through the ages, all beginning with a single touch.